Good day, and thank you for tuning in to our series, The Katz Conversations, where we take a deeper dive in meeting with our Katz Institute for Women's Health experts. My name is Sharon Zarabi. I'm the Director of Operations at the Katz Institute for Women's Health. And today I have the privilege of meeting with our one and only Dr. Stephanie McNally. She plays a huge part with the Katz Institute for Women's Health as the Director of the OBGYN Services with Katz and also Vice President of the OBGYN Service Line. So Dr. McNally, thank you so much for joining us today. We are going to ask you a lot of questions to get to know your ins and outs besides just being a doctor. So I want to just start by asking, we know you're a physician, we know you work as an OBGYN. What do you feel is the most rewarding part of your career?
So first of all, thank you for having me. This is super exciting to be able to engage with you and all of our virtual listeners. So really happy to be here today. And that actually already answers the question. One of the most rewarding things as part of my job is to be able to be connected with someone and really impact their life, whether it's from an emotional standpoint, from being present for something that is incredibly charged, or even a routine check that becomes a real conversation about their needs as a woman, their needs as a person, their needs as a professional. So that connection to me is the most rewarding piece of my job.
I think that's really important. I think a lot of us as women are looking for that connection. You know, we live in a hustle, bustle, work life balance in New York. And there's just so much going on that when we come to see a doctor and we actually are taking the time to take care of ourselves, we want to be able to get that attention and that one-on-one with our physicians. And I'm sure a lot of people don't feel like they're getting that. So that is very valuable. And I'm sure just with the stress of seeing so many patients and really being focused and being present during that visit, you're human, right? Outside of the OBGYN office. How do you manage, that work-life balance?
Yeah, and I think that a lot of professionals, people that are home, women in general, really are torn for that balance. And I heard a great speaker once talk about the fact that balance, something is going to fall. So if you look at it more like waves in an ocean, where sometimes you're riding this high, whether it's home life or work life, there are going to be little pieces where it's a little bit lower. And to be okay with these ebbs and flows, these ups and downs, that's the most important thing. So on a day that I know I'm really connected with work, I'm really connected with patients, there's somebody that needs me more there, I'm very open and transparent with my family, with my kids. And on other days, if somebody is pulling me someplace else where that's not my priority that day, again, riding that wave up and down. So that way you give yourself the grace to say no to some things. Give your grace to yourself, I think, is a really important part of that success. And an ocean should be calming. So if it goes up and down, just ride that wave throughout life and don't put that pressure of balance and pull. Just take a breath. And the famous last words I tell my residents, it's fine. Everything is fine.
Oh God, words of wisdom. I think that's so important. And clearly you work with a lot of women, and being in the OBGYN field, you're working with a bunch of mothers who are juggling. So I love those words of wisdom. Just like ride that wave. Sometimes the waves are going to be high. Sometimes the waves are going to be low. Sometimes you're going to be pulled into it and tumbling through.
Yes.
So it's a great metaphor. And then just, I think for you, you just said how you manage that work-life balance. What are your own daily rituals to practice mental, emotional, spiritual well-being?
I think a huge part of it is just to be honest with yourself. On days that you feel that your tank is empty, what are the things that are going to recharge you as an individual? So for somebody like myself that is an extrovert, being around people, walking outside, finding connections. I am notoriously not silent on a soccer field or a football stadium. So that really recharges me. And for those people that are more introverted, taking that space away from a work or family environment kind of recharges their batteries. So I think for me, being in my space with my family, with my friends, even being at work sometimes in terms of that connection, the networking, that extroversion, that energy from the crowd, that helps recharge me. And also, I think for me and my family, it is knowing that vacations are on the horizon that definitely gets me through. We are adventure seeking family. Our goal is to see every national park together. So on the quest for the end, we're just ticking off a park at a time. And that really does give that separation and that recharging.
Wow. Okay. So you are seeking adventure with your family, making connections in the outdoors. And what was the most recent national park that you guys visited?
And I just have chills even thinking about it. The most recent one was Dry Tortugas in the middle of the Gulf of Mexico. So you have to either get there by a boat, which is about 2.5 hours one way, or a seaplane. So the history, the exploration, snorkeling off of the coast of a national park is pretty awesome. And then we'll head to Alaska this summer.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. I've been to Alaska, lots of glaciers, beautiful whale watching. Yeah, there's something special about visiting different parts of the world and seeing the different topography, the different geography, the different people, the culture. So that's amazing. And are you athletic, or is anyone in your family athletic if you're doing all these nature activities?
So in this, and as many of you know, my real passion is gaps of care for women that are perimenopausal and menopausal. So for me, my athleticism is different, so I can definitely keep up. My husband is very athletic, and my kids are incredible athletes. So they play for academy soccer teams. They work with professional football players. We are heading to the World Gymnastics Championship next week. So yes, we have athletic, moving kids, and I'm very blessed that they're healthy and that we have the ability to do these things. But I think on top of that is for everybody out there listening, find that joy, find that passion, find that connection. And it doesn't need to be anything extravagant. So am I an athlete? Back in the day, maybe. Right now, I'm just happy to burn some calories and keep moving.
Yeah, so you're not only burning energy through the way that you exude yourself, it's also through your physical fitness, which I'm sure is a major part of your well-being as well, because it's another part of your rituals of keeping you, the endorphins are always kicking in when you're active. So I want to shift, because I think you answered one of the questions regarding like your passion and what you're good at. But if you weren't a physician, what other career track would you have taken if not medicine?
So really, this is what I was meant to do. And thinking about what else it would be a real challenge for me because it's so embedded in my DNA.
Mhm.
And part of it too is what else would you do? So you take the passions or your interests. And for me, and this may come as no surprise, I did a lot of theater in my high school and college days. So if I am connecting with a patient, putting that energy, that comfort, understanding their needs as part of that theater comfort being in front of somebody, that is how I took some other interest and really channeled it. So for me, I think my parents' fear was that I would be a circus clown. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but that level of joy and presence has always been there. So I guess maybe if I had to say what it was, maybe, but really it would be nothing but medicine and women's health, especially understanding that unheard voices, the differences in our biology, the inability sometimes for us to speak up for what we need, what we deserve. And we apologize so much unnecessarily. And I tell my patients, if you run over my cat with your car, okay, you can apologize. By the way, I don't have cats and or endorse any harm to animals. But I think we need to be very cautious in those words. I'm sorry. Well, what are you sorry about? Advocating for yourself, feeling things, sharing your symptoms? No, you should be applauded for it.
Yeah, this resonates so much with the conversations I have with my colleagues at the Katz Institute for Women's Health, with my friends in a lot of our social circles, that we always start our sentence with, I'm sorry, but, and everyone's like, well, what are you sorry about? And I'm like, it's just part of my vernacular to just, it's so natural for me to be apologetic, and I genuinely mean it, but do I have to be sorry for certain actions or certain questions that I have? So I think you really nipped it in the bud with a lot of what females feel. And you spend so many hours, trying to help women at every age and stage of their life, from, giving birth to menopause. What advice would you give someone who might be going in your field that they should take into consideration?
That there is not a better field in the world. So notoriously, the hours of an obstetrician have definitely not been appealing because emergencies, human arrivals don't really punch a clock. But the way that our field is moving in terms of tracks, if you want to be more hospital based, you want to be more ambulatory based, surgery is your passion. All of these little nuances, whether you then move through education, you move through leadership, you move through research. This is one field because it truly spans a lifetime, because we also have pediatric specialists in GYN. We're really dealing with a lot of hormonal connections with individuals that may be going through gender re-identification. And again, our field is really connected with that. And this is a great time that we need advocacy. We need voices that understand and believe in women's rights. So for those of you that are not sure, find those mentors, find those sponsors that are going to see you a different angle besides just the hours, because we do have one of the most fully broad scope fields in all of medicine, and really encourage those looking into it, even from an advanced care provider or someone thinking about medicine. There are so many aspects to what we do in women's health, from OB to GYN, but then working really collaboratively across all of women's care, because a lot of people, especially in those early decades of contraception to considerations of fertility, we become that primary care person. So there's no other field in medicine that can say we do that and we can safely operate on.
Yeah, you touched upon so many different things in your answer. So thank you for that, because I think what you pointed out at the Katz Institute for Women's Health is that we have this multidisciplinary care team, and every physician may not always have every answer, but when you work collectively, when you work collaboratively, your patients are cared for with a little bit of advice and a little bit of expertise from different not just specialists, but subspecialists. And that's so important, because the field of medicine is completely, it's evolving daily, it's developing. We're learning so much more with trending science and research, and so much of what we do at Katz is based on research and these clinical programs. But yes, these subspecialists can help really get into the weeds of any symptom that someone is experiencing. So they're not just, poo-pooed when they come into the doctor's office. If you don't have the answer, you can refer them to another one of your colleagues.
And especially through the Katz Institute, there are a lot of collaborations from, like you said, from research, for committees that we're building for CME credits, to really bring our top line knowledge and our clinical expertise to a mass audience, because we're really setting the stage in terms of standards. So there's no place like this.
That's great. Thank you so much. I think what we're going to do now is we're going to go into a rapid fire. So just tell me the first answer that comes to mind. We're going to go a little off topic from medicine, but you did share with me that you have some interest in theater. So I guess the first question I have to ask is favorite show, Broadway, off Broadway, film?
Les Mis.
Les Mis. Ah, good one. One of my favorites. I like it. You said adventure. So country or beach house?
Beach house.
Okay. Cocktail or mocktail?
Oh, definitely cocktail.
Okay. Any specific one?
Oh, I'm a big wine fan. So
Okay.
get me a nice Sauvignon Blanc. I'm good to go.
All right. Awesome. And book or movie?
Same, Gone with the Wind. My favorite book, my favorite movie. And that was a requirement that I was told by my mom and my aunts. You have to read the book before you see the movie. And I did. And that was the summer of the never ending book. And it is my favorite book, my favorite movie of all time.
Yeah, classic. That good picks. Great answers, by the way. So, Dr. McNally, as we conclude this wonderful conversation, do you have any closing remarks that you'd like to share with our viewers?
The most important thing, and I recently had the opportunity to speak at a Katz collaboration with Hertz Media, and Dr. Jill Biden was there. One of the things that I said on stage, which I want to continue to reiterate, and this is for women of all ages: be bold, be brave. So if you have something that seems off, or you feel like you are not being heard, be bold enough and be brave enough to speak up for what you need, for what you deserve, and know that there are providers out there in the universe that truly care. That was the first question you asked. What gives me the most joy is really, truly helping the patients I have the privilege of interacting with.
Oh, I love that. I think we just had an inspirational session with you. Be bold and be brave. Yeah. So it's like the three B's, right? Be bold, or four B's: be bold, be brave.
I think that's mug, pin, t-shirt worthy. Definitely a hashtag.
All right, we'll use that maybe for our social media campaign. So,
I think it's fantastic.
so Dr. McNally, thank you so much for your time, your words of wisdom, and just sharing with us your passion. You are incredible at what you do. Thank you for changing the lives of women. Thank you for giving us the confidence to be heard and to have these difficult conversations with our physicians. And thank you to all our viewers. We hope to see you at our next Katz conversation.
Have a good one.